Okay, in my Patreon exclusive portion, I want to answer. I got a few questions during my last live stream, which was last Saturday. Excuse me for a second. Man, I guess I'm thirsty, huh? I almost drank half that bottle in one. Somebody asked me the question, Alan, I've heard you use this phrase that many times you want to challenge and or frustrate a woman's ego. You want to challenge and or frustrate a woman's ego. I'm not sure if I fully understand what you mean by that. What is meant by challenging and or frustrating a woman's ego? This mainly applies in respect to my 5 archetypes, which would be reciprocators, rejectors, wholesome pretenders, erotic hypocrites, and manipulative time wasters. This mainly applies to women who are erotic hypocrites and to a lesser extent, wholesome pretenders. Doesn't really apply to reciprocators, rejectors, and manipulative time wasters. But when it comes to women who are erotic hypocrites and to a lesser extent, wholesome pretenders, yes, you want to do. What does it mean? Well, in simple terms, a lot of women in society, I'm not going to go as far as say all women, but definitely a high percentage of women in society are socialized to believe that just about every man they meet, number one, wants to get in their pants, and number two, will do damn near anything to get in their pants. That's the thing you got. I would say on that mythical scale from 1 to 10, pretty much any woman you meet, and I would even say some of the lower number women, but definitely women who are 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. And I would even say a lot of women who are 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. Definitely 4s and 5s. But for sure, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. Those women believe that if they wear something tight, wear something short, wear some kind of sexually provocative clothing, revealing clothing, they believe most men they come in contact with are going to want to get in their pants and are going to be willing to do a lot of things to get in their pants. When I say willing to do a lot of things, such as spend a lot of time flattering them, spend a lot of time wining and dining them, treating them to free meals, buying them materialistic gifts, taking a lot of disrespectful bullshit from them. So when you do all the things that a woman is expecting you to do, then you're playing right into her ego. You're playing right into her ego. So if you meet a woman, named Amber, and you immediately say, man, Amber's attractive and sexy, I think I'm going to invite her out on one lunch date and one dinner date. One lunch date and one dinner date. You're playing right into her ego. If you meet that same woman, Amber, you say, I'm going to spend at least an hour and a half, 2 hours telling her how beautiful and sexy she is. You playing right into her hands. If you allow that woman to just talk to you like you her son or you're her employee, like you're just a sexually desperate beta male chump, and you're not exhibiting any degree of backbone, you're playing right into her hands. If you're allowing that woman to friend zone you for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you're playing right into her hands. Got to go against the grain, fellas. You got to go against the grain. If you know a woman is expecting you to spend money on her, don't spend shit on her. If you know a woman is expecting you to spend a lot of time flattering her, don't do it. If you know a woman is expecting you to take a lot of undesirable, disrespectful bullshit from her mouth, don't allow her to disrespect you or treat you like a chump. Go against the grain of conventional society. That's what I mean when I say go against a woman's social programming. Go against a woman's cultural conditioning. That will always, always, always benefit you in your interactions with women who are erotic hypocrites and wholesome pretenders. Oh, and to the guy that a guy threw a question at me. At first, I didn't remember. During last live stream, he asked me about, Alan, tell me more about the story where the woman was mode zero with you in the shopping mall. And when he said that last Saturday, I couldn't remember what he was talking about. I was like, woman was mode zero with me in the shopping mall. Then it hit me. I went back and looked at some of the comments in a live stream. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the story. I remember that specifically when that happened. That was in March of 1995. I was working for a cellular phone company. And we had a retail store in Beverly Hills, but we also used to have what's called a kiosk. You know, you ever been in a large shopping mall and they have these like carts, big, large carts in the middle of the shopping mall? Different vendors will have their own cart. Well, that's called a kiosk. And we had a kiosk in what's a mall in Westwood called the West Side Pavilion. And yeah, there was a woman, black woman. And I think the specific question was, somebody asked, they said, Alan, I have not known young, attractive women to be mode zero with a man. Wouldn't you say that most women who are mode zero are old, fat, and or just generally unattractive? No, that's not true. Whoever asked me that, I can't remember who asked me that question, but no, that's not true. That's not true. Yeah, if that's your stereotype, that is an invalid stereotype. In my day, I've known a lot of women who were young, beautiful, sexy, and attractive to be mode zero with me. And other guys I knew. I've told y'all a number of times, if you remember about my high school days, like my senior in high school, of all the women I had casual sex with, I don't think I pursued not one woman. And that's real talk, my senior in high school. Pretty much every casual sex lover I had my senior in high school, they basically came to me. They basically threw the pussy at me. And these were not unattractive women. These were very attractive women, both facially and body-wise. They were attractive women. I would say most women, they range anywhere from on the low end of the stick, they were probably like a 5.5 to a 6. And on the high end of the stick, they were probably like a 8.5 to a 9. So, yeah, when I was in high school, man, that was probably my number one year where I experienced the most mode zero type pussy, where the woman made the first move and she was the one that let me know. But yeah, the woman in Westside Pavilion, she was attractive. If I had to give her a 1 to 10 rating, she was probably like somewhere between a 6.5 and a 7. Yeah, I would rate her probably like a 6.5 to a 7. And she was with 2 girlfriends. And yeah, she approached me, looked me dead in my eye. She did everything that I tell men to do with women. She approached me. She had confident, direct eye contact. And she said, are you available for me to kidnap you for a couple of hours? I would love to kidnap you. And I said, oh, really? She said, yes. And then her 2 girlfriends were making faces like, oh my God, she's so bold. She's so bold. She's so bold. But yeah, she was letting me know. She went, actually, that's the second. I've had 2 women use that specific line. I remember, if you remember this story, speaking of stories of mine, I remember one time in 1990, I want to say it was October of 1990, I was at a club in Indianapolis, and I was on my way to the bathroom, and this attractive woman stopped me. And that's what she said. She said, you know what I would love to do? Now, she said something like, she prefaced it. She said something like, I'm a straightforward woman, so I'm just going to be straightforward with you. I said, okay. I like straightforward honesty. And she said, after you're finished having fun here at this club, I would like to kidnap you for the night. Is that possible? And this woman was attractive. She was probably no less than a 7. And yeah, I said, sure. And sure enough, we went to her place and fucked. So yeah, whoever the chat room of my live stream said that the only women who do mode 1 approaches themselves, which if you're on the receiving end, I would call that a mode 0 approach, are only women who are old, fat, or otherwise unattractive. That is not true. That is not true. Trust me when I say that is far from the truth. Matter of fact, I can't name too many times. If anything, all the women that approach me first, and in one way or another let me know that they wanted to have sex with me, I would say no less than 3/4 of them were women that were, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say at minimum like a 5.5. Like, I rarely had a woman that was like a 3 or a 4 be mode 1 with me. I've had a few instances, handful of instances, but they've been definitely in the minority. So yeah, I don't know where you get it, but yeah, I now remember that story. Yeah, that was the woman when I was working for the company at the time was called LA Cellular, which they later got bought up by I think AT&T. But yeah, I've had a few mode 0 incidences in my life, and yeah, as I mentioned a number of times, particularly this relates to when I lived in LA. Anytime I was at a social function and a woman approached me first and like start engaging me in conversation, 80 to 90% of that, the first thing I would say is, I would go like this. I would do the time outside, and I would say, so when we fucking? So when we fucking? And I had a friend, if you got, who said again, you know, I mentioned this in one of the chapters. I said I had a friend who said I should have had a billboard on Sunset Boulevard with me in a nice suit and my hands are out like this, and the caption underneath my face is, so when we fucking? Yeah, because that was my classic line, man, when I had a lot of mode 0 experiences in LA. But yeah, there's some women, if you allow them to be, man, there's women that will be mode 1 with you, as long as they feel like you're non-judgmental and discreet. Non-judgmental and discreet. So look out for those experiences. All right, fellas, that's all I got for you today. If I don't come back between now and Saturday, I'll probably definitely do a video no later than Monday of next week. All right. Peace.